Live on YouTube. Zulma Gonzalez's mic is all yours.
Well. It is Monday, a magnificent, majestic, momentous Monday to each and every only one of us. I'm choosing not to have a lot of light on today because my puppy is not feeling well. Um, Lovable and I went to Delaware yesterday um, for a cookout, and he actually ended up eating like the tail end of little bits of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of the other. Well, all those little bits ended up being way too much. And three times, count them, one, two, and three, he vomited on me. Not physically on me because I would have lost my mind, but that's another story. Um, and Yeah, so this morning, I fed him breakfast, and he's he's belching a little too much, and he's acting like he's got the hiccups, and I'm keeping something right here close by just in case. Um, and that's where we are right now. That's the wrong color. I'm looking at the wrong color here. Um, I am stalling because I'm trying to get to my slides. I'm actually stalling. That should be not purple but blue. And I accidentally deleted the blue. So I have to go back and find it again. So anyway, what else is happening? Yesterday the air quality was not yesterday morning. I'm the one that wasn't feeling my best. My breathing was debating on whether or not it should stay with me. And that was annoying. That was very annoying. And yeah, so I ended up not being able to, I didn't go to service. We had choir rehearsal. We had rather the choir was singing yesterday, and I was not able to be part of that. Um, Frustrating, we had, but I listened online, and the harmony was tight. It was really, really good. And I was impressed. So me being impressed is not the issue, but the fact that they did a fantastic job was. Um, why? Here we go. All right, so let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let us get to it. We are reminded, as always, first that we are. Oh, okay. I'm gonna hit yes and see what happens. All right, very good. Um, we are looking at A Course in Miracles meets Science of Mind. Hmm. I put this in slideshow presentation. It won't much matter because I didn't do anything pretty to the slides today. Course in Miracles meets the Science of Mind. Today is June the 17th, 2024. Oh my God, how time flies. Anyway, time flies. We're midway through the year, and wow, in time, of course. And it's funny because had I waken up and I had not seen a calendar or had not, been here, you know, previously to get an idea of these chunks of time that we have, I wouldn't be able to tell that today is June 17th. I wouldn't be able to tell it's 2024. I wouldn't be able to tell it was Monday. It's just eternity. We're just constantly moving in eternity. But yeah, but in time, it's June 17th. Our reminder from the Egyptian proverb, the kingdom of heaven is within you, and whoever shall know himself shall find it. The kingdom of heaven is always right where you are. The kingdom of heaven is always, as is written in the Bible, at hand. It's always right here, always now. God is where I am. The kingdom of heaven is right here. And so when one prays the Lord's Prayer from the Bible, it starts, Our Father which art in heaven. It's actually Our Father which art within. Within. We are too busy looking out there for something that's not out there. We're constantly taught by the Course and other teachings that, to seek not outside yourself. There is nothing outside yourself except the stuff that we make up. And from there, maybe I will put this in slideshow. Let's do this. What the heck? Let's get rid of that and that and slideshow from current slide. Here we go. The first one this morning then will be To Learn How to Think is to Learn How to Live by our Dr. Ernest Holmes. The reminder always that to learn how to think is to learn how to live. If you want to live the kind of life you want, you have to think the kind of thoughts you want. Period. Because thought always precedes action. Thought precedes action after, and before the action comes the feeling, the conviction that what it is that I'm thinking is going to present itself. So if I want to be happy, joyous, and free, uh, then I have to be willing to think happy, joyous, and free thoughts. If I want to be in pain and in misery and in anger well, all stemming from fear, then I have to be thinking fearful thoughts. And any way it goes, they're all lessons that life would have us learn, that God would have us learn. This is a course in mind training. The Course Miracles is a course in mind training, and all learning involves attention and study at some level, because an untrained mind can accomplish nothing, absolutely nothing. Thoughts and things, Dr. Ernest says, are but two ends of the same proposition. Since it is impossible to stop thinking, we cannot stop creating. Our choice is whether we shall create constructively or make destructively. And I'm inserting the word make there from the Course for understanding purposes, that according to the Course, we create when we are moving in the constructive direction, and we are simply making when we are not. Creation is always, as they say in Science of Mind, it's always evoluting. We're always evoluting. We involve to evolve. We have to involve ourselves to evolve. But Workbook Lesson 188 reminds us that we are already, we're already where we're supposed to be, that the revelations come, but enlightenment is not a change at all. It's just a recognition. It's just a recognition. We are already enlightened. We are already in the light. We already are the light, because we are already spirit. And that has always been in a state of grace forever, always in a state of grace, and has been forever. Spirit is eternal. Ernest Holmes refers to it as the changeless reality. Always, always. And Dr. William Walker Atkinson quotes that the mental pattern must always precede the mental form, which is what I said, always precede the mental form. And that is that, again, the thought always comes first, remembering that this is a course in mind training. Mind training. We're learning to train our minds. Above all else, we want to see things differently. At least I do. Above all else, I want to see things differently. I want to see it with through the eyes of God, through the eyes of truth, through the eyes of allness. I want to see, which means that since I'm breaking things up into chunks of time and space and things and this and that and analyzing this, then obviously I want to see things differently. I want to be able to recognize that looking beyond appearances gets me to the realization, to the truth that What I see is temporary. Good morning, Mickey. Good to see you. You're kind of sneaking in there. I see you. I see you. Glad you're here. Glad you are here. All right. Let's see what else we have here. What do we have? And then finally, that all thinking produces form at some level, which is what Dr. Atkinson said, and the course backs up. So I have a couple power quotes this morning. I watch Bridgerton. I don't know who else is a Bridgerton fan. I love, love, love the TV show Bridgerton. It's in its third season. It just had its I just watched the last of the third season. You know, you binge watch. They did it in halves, which I thought was cool. They did the first four episodes, um, and then on the 13th, the last four episodes came out. Well, I watched them last night, and there is a character, and in the show, her name is Madame Delacroix. She owns a boutique, and it's unusual. It's unique for women to be in power because in anyway, you have to watch it. It's really good. But she was telling someone uh who wanted to give up their passion doing what they really enjoy doing because they were in love, were getting married, blah blah blah. And she told her that there is no such thing as true love without first embracing your true self. I thought that was wow. That wowed me. There is no such thing. There is no such thing as true love without first embracing your true self. Yeah, yeah. From Bridgerton. I'm telling you, there's a lot of this is Shonda Rhimes. The she's a she's magic with words. She is absolutely magic with words. She's the one who did uh what's the name of that show? Well, she does Grey's Anatomy, and um she does How to Get Away with Murder, and she's magic with words. This woman, she's an outstanding writer. And anyway, there's no such thing as true love without first embracing your true self. And good morning, Regis. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Grand Rising. That's it now. Grand Rising. And my other power quote is by Alan Cohen, who was the author of, well, he's in this particular case, the author of 365 Day, A Deep Breath of Life, Daily Inspiration for Heart-Centered Living. But he's also the author of A Course in Miracles Made Easy. And I believe it's January 17th, where he writes, live by choice, not self-protection. Be active rather than reactive. Make a stand for your truth, and your truth will make a stand for you. And that just grabbed me this very morning. There's a book titled Live by Choice, Not by Chance. The bottom line is that it's not for me to for when a plant decides to grow, it doesn't think, maybe I will, maybe I won't. No, life always is, and it's always, life is always, creation is always occurring. Creation is always occurring. It did not stop. Unbeing, hate to be the one to disappoint, but it did not. Creation did not stop in 6 days. I didn't understand that the first time I heard it. What? But how? But how? How are you going to tell me? How? I didn't get it, and I was a child. I didn't understand that. But anyway, creation is always occurring. Life is always occurring. Oh, and there's my Karen. Good morning, my Karen. Glad you're here. Oh, the
Good
party is at the
morning. Good
party.
morning.
The party has started. Yay. Um, so I had two power quotes, as you all can see the screen right now. There's no such thing as true love without first embracing your true self. and that's out of the TV show Bridgerton, uh, by Shonda Rhimes and possibly by Julia Quinn. No, it's by Shonda Rhimes. Could be Julia Quinn, the author of the books, but I'm going to attribute it to her because that's where I saw it. And Alan Cohen, the author of the book on the screen, and also A Course in Miracles Made Easy. Live by choice, not self-protection. It's living by self-protection means I'm living in fear. I'm afraid that something is going to happen. I'm worried. I am not giving God, the creator, due credit. I'm so scared something is going to happen. Living in the what if, that sort of thing. Spending my time in fear. To be active rather than reactive. I can sit like a lump on the log. I was saying, a plant doesn't just decide to stop growing. You plant the seed. Look, I can go outside right now and see where, what's not supposed to be growing is the weed killer and all that. It will grow and grow and grow because it's supposed to. It just acts. It just acts. And it doesn't, and it didn't need me to say, okay, it's time for you to grow. You can grow now if you want to. But it's working in conjunction with the creation, the sun, and all that. But it still is not asking for permission. It didn't say, "Hey, son, can I do this now?" It's just automatic to act rather than to react, to think for myself and not try to think for you, because the course reminds us that analyzing the motives of others is hazardous to us, and to make a stand for your truth. The um You all might have to excuse me because, as I mentioned earlier, for those who weren't here, Lovable has been not feeling well and vomited 3 times yesterday. And I'm paying attention to his actions. Um, we'll see what's going on here. You all right? Okay. All right. You got people who care about you, concerned about your well-being, especially me right now. There he is. Say hi. Here, say hi. Hey. Um, So anyway, um, but to make a stand for your truth, the court, well, Ernest Holmes says that it's not my job to tell others what they should or shouldn't believe, but to simply stand for what I do. Simple as that. And my actions speak for me. What the words that flow from my mouth speak for me. Everything is a lesson. All things are lessons. When I stand for what I believe to be the truth, what I say I know. I know things that just don't change. In fact, there's a quote we'll come to later about that. Um, make a stand for your truth, and your truth will make a stand for you. Everybody loves Regis. Everyone loves Zulma, and it's demonstrated all the time. Baby boy, all the time. Um, the invitation to come on out, the phone call just to see you. I want to talk to. My a young friend. Well, I'm saying young. No, he's 8 years my junior, and I've known him since he was 8. And he was telling his grandson, put her number in your phone. When you need to talk to someone, when you really need to talk to someone, you call her. And then he told his younger brother, who we met years later, you remember, her. And sure enough, he did call me one time. But anyway, yeah, Karen, come on.
Uh, Good morning. Good morning. Oh, poor lovable. I hope he feels better.
Me too.
Um,
Thank you.
you'll take good care of him. I trust that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just love what you just said about, make a stand for your truth. I had a situation with a brother that did something that I totally disagreed with, and it was very hurtful to a friend of mine. And I didn't agree with him, but I was trying to practice the course doing this, and it was really hard. Because I didn't want to make him wrong, but I still believed he was wrong, but I didn't want to make him wrong. And it took time for that I couldn't pretend, so I had to just really go within and ask spirit. And what I finally came up with was the power of decision that we're taught in the course, that I have to respect where he's at, and I have to respect that this is exactly what the course says. I will respect what you made because you made it, but I will not uphold it unless it's true. So that's what I came up with, and it really helped me a lot to just meet him where he's at, but not agree. I don't agree, and we cannot, like, I'm not gonna hate you for this, or judge you for this, but I don't agree with it. And because he was at the point where he was not trying to make me agree with it, but trying to uh I don't know what the word I want is when you're trying to convince somebody that it was for a good cause or whatever. I don't know. Like it was to learn a lesson or whatever it was. I just still didn't agree with it, and I stood my ground. And I'm so happy that I did. But I do still, at that same time, I have to respect where people are at, whether I agree with it or not. And that was a hard one for me. But I learned actually through the course and just through going within to just not make it too serious and not judge it. So thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, I will love and honor and maintain complete respect for what you have made, but I will not uphold it unless it is true. And I think that's one powerful, powerful, powerful um, quote in the course. Uh, in fact, it's going to make it to the screen right now. Powerful, powerful, powerful. And it's key. I mean, I can listen to your stuff, and I can listen to your stuff. I don't have to approve of it, disapprove of it. Listening doesn't involve me talking. Yes, just come on, brother.
All right, good morning. And
What?
thank you, Karen, because I was kind of going down that same thought process, and I have been for quite a few days, as a matter of fact. Um, One of the things uh, that I don't know, it seems that Course in Miracle communities, in my opinion, have get very confused on and that is, what is judgment? And I constantly say in these groups about love isn't always yes. It's like my mantra that I teach as many people that are willing to be taught is, I say no with love and no guilt. Sometimes a lot of the feelings and emotions that we have attached to ourselves, when we are really just saying no, or we're really just disagreeing. Because I disagree doesn't mean I'm judging. So it's really our own ego thought system sometimes that's causing the pressure, that when someone is presenting themselves or presenting an idea, or even just a simple request that we want to say no to, it doesn't mean we're judging them. You know, uh, we can disagree with what someone is saying or even what someone is doing. It doesn't mean that we're judging them. Uh, Jacob, Jacob Glass explained it more clearly than anyone I've ever heard when he was just talking about someone that steals. You know, my wife went to visit her family once, and she had some designer glasses, and she was in a place that she thought was home and with family, and they stole her glasses, you know. And uh, but she wanted to go into that environment. We think, well, I don't want to be judgmental, you know. No, they steal. So keep your purse by your side, keep your money, you know. So Jacob was saying one day, you know, like if someone steals, they steal. Okay. So you recognize and you accept that they steal. We say what you resist, persist. So if
Yes.
they steal, they steal. So he was saying if that person wanted to come to his house, he would say no, unless he feels like locking up all his belongings and putting things away where that person can't get them. Then no, you can't come to my house tonight because I don't want to go through that. And you steal. I'm not judging you. I'm not saying you're unworthy of love. I'm not saying you should be banded to hell or whatever. You know, I'm just saying this is what you do, and no to that, and know that you can't come to my house tonight. You know, I had some cousins that came in my house and stole my jewelry. Another relative, their dad, as a matter of fact, confirmed that he saw them with my necklace and my chains. Okay, they steal. So from that point, they can come in my house. You know, I'm not judging you. I'm not. We think the moment someone is saying something that we disagree with or a behavior that we disagree with, we go through all this guilt and trying to explain how we feel. And that, well, I don't want to judge them. When you're not judging them, you know, I say no with love and no guilt. Uh, my wife and I was talking, you know, just this week about work. Well, on my job, they asked me the schedule that they had given me, they wanted to change it. And some of the changes they wanted to make, I said no to. And I told my wife, I noticed that I didn't feel pressure. I didn't feel some reverse sense of rejection because the request they was asking of me, I wanted to say no to. I say no with love and no guilt. And what I was telling her, when I teach that mantra, I'm not saying take that mantra and try to fit it into situations. The mantra is for my self conscious, for my subconscious. I'm retraining my mind. I'm retraining my subconscious so that I won't have these adverse reactions when I'm put in situations where the answer is no, or the answer is no. I don't agree with what you're saying. I don't agree with what you're putting on the table at this time. I don't have to feel guilty in those moments. But we have been trained by this ego thought system, which Zuma always reminds us it's just a thought system, you know. And that thought system that was given to us by our caretakers, our parents, by our tribe. We say it takes a village. So we could have learned it in school. We didn't learn it all from our mom and daddy, but it could have been learned in our tribe as we were being indoctrinated into this world, this thought system as a child. And so we carry this guilt and even a sense of shame and a feeling of rejection when we don't agree with people or when we have to say no to people. And so we get in the Course in Miracles, and then we get it all twisted up into this idea that every time I think no, every time I think I'm not agreeing with someone, I'm judging them. And it's just a very twisted, tangled web that we get lost in. That no, it's just a holy no. Like Gloria says often, it's just a holy no. It's not a judgment, and as your quote is really what opened it up to me this morning. When you said, you took it off the screen, but basically it was saying, when I love myself, when I'm an advocate for myself, that's the most loving thing I can be. I can't decide how you're going to feel about something and try to fix it before I even speak for myself. There we go. Live by choice, not self protection. Be active rather than reactive. Make a stand for your truth, and your truth will make a stand for you. You know, but we get trapped in trying to do the loving thing, trying to say the loving thing. And the only way I can be loving is be me. The Bible teaches us, love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Come on.
Period.
Period.
There is
Sure.
no such thing as true love without first embracing your true self. How am I going to take care of you better than I take care of myself? You just in a fantasy. The whole premise is flawed. I used to talk about Christianity. I would say the whole premise is flawed. When you trying to love me and trying to be so concerned about me more than you are about yourself, that's not love. That's the arc of codependency. You cannot be more concerned about how Regis feel than you concerned about how you feel. That's
That's right.
insanity gone to seed.
Come on, God.
And that's what I hear so much in our community. We trying to do love. And as I mentioned to Zuma the other week, you guys just gotta be love. You cannot, you're twisted in a web of deceit, of self-deceit, when you're more concerned and you're trying to protect somebody else and you're not even protecting your own self. You're trying to protect my feelings. How that work? You're trying to protect, and how many times have we seen this scenario where somebody's all weepy and crying, and I was trying to protect your feelings. Wait a minute, stop. Be an advocate for yourself. Love yourself first. And out of that overflow of love for yourself, that's why I'm giving. That's why I'm generous. Because, like I tell my wife, honey, I'm loving me first. Don't you ever think that when you see me being generous towards you, and when you see me being abundantly generous toward you, that I'm some kind of way neglecting myself, because I'm not. You're in my overflow. You're in my overflow, darling. Don't ever, don't ever think that I'm throwing myself under the bus for your benefit. That's not what's going on here. You're in the overflow of the love that I have for the God in me, for the Christ that I am, for the recognition that I am God's beloved Son, in whom He's well pleased. You're just in that overflow, and so we have to really. Understand that a holy no, and because I disagree with the idea that you're presenting to me, doesn't mean I'm judging you. And I know people feel judged. Like a girl asked me, Regis, you want to go dancing with us at this honky tonk? And I didn't have to think about it. The minute she asked me the question, I said no. And everybody in the room, like, wow, you said that no really fast. I said, yeah, because I know that's something I don't want to do. I don't have to ponder it. I'm not going to sit here and try to, because really I'm lying when I already know my answer is no. And then I'm kind of making you think I'm thinking about it. I'm lying because I already know my answer is no. So if I try to, well, let me think, no, I'm playing games then, because I'm trying to protect your feelings. In the only way I can be in that situation is to be true, and that's the most loving thing I can be. Now, if that person feels judged, I'm not judging you going dancing. If you feel that way, that's your problem. That's the demons you got to work out in your head. I didn't judge you. I just said no to the request that you asked of me. So I can't try to be you and me. I just got to be me, and presenting myself as me is the most loving way I can be in this world in any situation. So Zuma, you've been very patient, and thank you for letting me go on with that.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. You brought I love that basically self first. Ralph Waldo Emerson, of course, says that imitation is suicide. He says, trust yourself. And he said, he said, and whoso would be a man, because he's speaking in old days, but whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. Must be a nonconformist. I was trying to find that I was hoping you'd keep on talking, but that's fine. I'll find it though. But whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. That there's always someone who thinks that they know what's best for you more than you do. There's always that person. But back to the whole thing about the self-love, loving yourself first, loving your neighbor as yourself. You have to love yourself first. There's that song that goes, I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me, but still has to start with me for me. And if you never come to that place where you feel that you can love me, that has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with me. I'm responsible for what I see. I'm responsible. And I love what you were saying about that whole thing about trying to protect somebody's feelings and all that. How is that possible? I did it for you. No, you didn't. You did it for you. I did it for myself. I can't protect your feelings because your feelings are yours. I'm responsible for for this one. It's the same thing as what you eat doesn't fill my belly. How can you eat for me? Well, I ate it because I knew if you did, you would get sick. Well, maybe I would get sick, but that's not why you ate it. You ate it because you wanted to. We think and then we pull it off like I was sacrificing myself for you. No, you weren't. You did what you did what you wanted to do, and now you throw this at me because you want me to feel guilty. Well, guess what? And that whole thing about holy no, that follows. There's a sacred yes and a holy no. Reverend Twana did that last year. There was a theme for February and March. Your sacred yes and your holy. And February was your sacred yes, and March was your holy no. Um, and and inside of that holy no, holy N-O, comes a holy K-N-O-W. I can say no with no reservation because I know who I am. I know what I am. I know that yes and no are both legitimate responses. Now, the fact that you don't like it when I say no, that's not my problem. That's not my problem. And I'm not saying it so that you'll feel bad or so that you'll be angry or so that you will, won't want to be bothered with me. Because if you feel like I'm a bother, then you need to go about your business anyway. Um, that's not why. Like you said, it's because it's not what I want to do. It's not the position I want to be in. I don't want to do that. And I don't have to. Whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. There's more to that passage, and I think I'm going to bring Emerson in on Thursday because it's going to take me a little bit to find him now, and we're 20 minutes to the hour. So, and what the heck is going on here? I don't want to save this. Yeah, I do. But yeah, so it's really one has to be willing to be oneself because who else can I be? Who else can I be? Who else can I be? Hmm. Hmm. That makes no sense. It makes no sense. I'm doing this for you. No, 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 no. That sounds good on paper, but no, no, you're not. No, you're not. Um, so again, I'll love you and honor you and maintain complete respect for what you've made, of what you're doing, and for what you're saying, and for who you think you're being. But I don't have to. I can love you, but I don't have to. It's what I say. I don't have to like it. I just accept it. I don't have to like it. Accept what you can't change, change what you can, and have the wisdom to know the difference. Accept what you can't change. I can't change you. I can't change what you do. I can't change what you say. You're in charge of you. Go ahead, Regis.
Yeah, I want to tell this one other. It's a funny story to me. It's probably not funny to the other person, but I was in this relationship with this lady some years ago, and we knew each other's business because we were in a relationship. So she had some financial things going on, and a financial uh, guy called while I was there in the room, and she took the call in front of me, and so she was lying to the guy. Okay, and of course, because I know her and know what was going on, she knew I knew she was lying. So when she hung up the phone, she looked at me. She said, "Did I lie? Was I lying to him?" I said, "Yeah, but it's okay with me." And then, and then she got mad at me and started fussing me. You shouldn't have told me I lied. I'm like, well, that's what you was doing, but I mean, I don't care. It's what you did. you know, it's like so. In other words, yeah, you lied, but I'm not judging you about it. It's like, yeah, that's what you did. You weren't telling the truth, you know. And the reason I'm gonna tell you the reason she was lying to him because she didn't want to hurt his feelings. She wanted to tell him no because she didn't want his services. And so instead of just telling him no, because that insecurity that's in her, that we was raised and we whatever jaded us in our upbringing, that we can't say no to people because we think it's hurting their feelings. And so we'll rather lie than say the truth. And so she got off the phone and asked me, "Yeah, you lied, but I'm okay with it." And I said it just like that,
Hmm,
But
hmm,
she
hmm.
still got mad at me because I was supposed to be said, "No, honey, you didn't lie. You was just trying, and now I'm supposed to lie. Now she, now, so so I just stopped the circus right there. It's like that same person. I came home from work one day and she said, "Hey, honey, were you thinking about me today?" I said, "No, I was at work and I was very engaged in my work and I was not thinking about you." And so I'm supposed to again say, "Oh, yeah, darling, I was thinking about you all day at work." I wasn't. I really wasn't. My job was the type of work that you are completely engrossed in it when you're doing it. And I was not thinking about her. I was thinking about, and I was very present with what I was doing. And I did a good job that day. So, it's but you get caught in this society where we all just engaging with each other, and it's all fake, it's all false, it's all just a web of everybody trying to protect everybody's feeling, and nobody's telling the truth. And it's very easy, and I'm not, even if anybody watching this on YouTube or anywhere, I'm not judging you if you caught in that and if you get caught in that. But I'm just saying that's what it is. And it's not truth. And it's not love. And it's not honesty. And you can come to a place where you can live a more authentic, loving life. And it's nothing like it. It's so beautiful. It's so sweet. And it's just such a peaceful existence that I want everybody to understand it and live in it. It's just such a better place. Thanks.
Thank you. Baby, you mean you went all day and didn't think about me? I would have if I didn't want to keep my job. came home to you from a job that I was able to keep because I didn't spend my time thinking about you all day, twiddling my thumbs and playing with pulling lint out my navel. Nuh-uh. Oh my. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna see if I can make this bigger on the screen. I will. I'll make it bigger on the screen. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of that. Okay. Screen 2. Here we go. Yes. Okay. So let me make this bigger. So we're going. Lynn let us know that we have a whole nother, we have more time, so we don't have to stop at 11. So the quotes that I had for to continue, we can do that or not. But I like where this is going. This is from the greatest essay to me of all times. It's by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it is titled Self-Reliance. This thing here helped me to choose integrity. It helped me to choose integrity. One of the things he says here is nothing is at last sacred but the integrity of your own mind. You find that? I love that. Oh, it's actually right here. It's right here. It's the following sentence. He says, whoso would be a man must be a nonconform. Can you see that okay on the screen? Or do I need to make it bigger? Somebody
It
tell
looks
me.
fine to me.
Okay.
It's good. Yep.
Whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. He who would gather immortal palms must not be hindered by the name of goodness, but must explore it if. Let me do that again. Whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. We cannot just, try to be the whole uniformal thing. Unity but not uniformity. Ernest Holmes writes, unity but not uniformity. We are not cookie cutter pieces of the other, and I don't have to go along with everything that you say or do just because you say it or do it, which is basically what we just brought up. And thank you very much for that. He who would gather immortal palms must not be hindered by the name of goodness, but must explore if it be goodness. That is, I can't be decide that, oh, so it's written that, well, Bree just brings up all the time the whole thing about, when we talk about what love is, but if I get angry, then that's not the loving thing. I'm not doing the godly thing, or at least that's what we attempt to say. If I am if I have an outburst, an emotional outburst, and then I'm not, living in God's will. Well, God's will and my will are one. So it was my will to have the outburst, and so be it. And the best example, and I used to say that too. We just said, in the Bible is written that Jesus got angry. Say what? You know, fig tree, death to you. And then call this one group a brood of vipers, and told somebody else their father was the devil, and turned over tables and hey, Jesus had a temper, as we all do, Anyway, so you must not be hindered by the name of goodness, but must explore if it be goodness. Nothing is at last sacred but the integrity of your own mind. Nothing is at last sacred but the integrity of your own mind. Absolve yourself to yourself, and you shall have the suffrage. That is the short intercessory prayer, usually of the world. In other words, be true to yourself. I remember an answer. I love this. I remember an answer which, when quite young, I was prompt to make a valued advisor who was wont, to inopportune me with the dear old doctrines of the church. On my saying, what have I to do with the sacredness of traditions if I live wholly, that is completely, from within? My friend suggested, but these impulses may be from below, not from above. I replied, they do not seem to me to be such. But if I am the devil's child, I will live then from the devil. No law can be sacred to me but that of my nature. What did Regis say? No, I don't feel like going out dancing. Why? Because I don't feel like going out dancing. I don't even, that was the answer. No, I don't feel like it. Why? Don't want to. Why? What do you mean why? Don't want to. If you'd have said yes, they wouldn't have asked you why. How come it's a no? There has to be follow up with the no and doesn't have to be followed with the yes. Yes and no are the same. Huh. He says, what have I to do with the sacredness of traditions if I live wholly from within? But these impulses, my friend suggested, maybe from below, not from above. I replied, they don't seem to be such, but if I am the devil's child, I will live then from the devil. No law can be sacred to me, but that of my nature. Good and bad are but names very readily transferable to this or that. The only right is what is after my constitution. The only wrong, what is against it. And he's talking about right and wrong here. The course reminds us that even though my actions, quote, quote, actions, my behavior, quote, quote, might not be, quote, quote, up to par, I'm still right. I'm still spirit. I still am. And you are too. This is why analyzing the motives of others is hazardous to me. I can't tell you how to be you because whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. My left thumbprint doesn't tell my right thumbprint that there's something wrong with you. The one blade of grass doesn't tell another blade of grass, you're not green enough, tall enough, you're not strong enough. No, 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 no. They're supposed to be different. I cannot compare myself. And I used to be the one, I wanted to be more this like that one, and I wanted to be less that than that one, or, I wish all that kind of stuff. And I was only hurting myself with that nonsense. I continued to hurt myself. He says, good and bad are but names very readily transferable to this or that. The only right is what is after my constitution. No, I don't want to go out dancing. Yes, I want to go out dancing. Yes, you want to go out dancing. The only wrong, what is against it? No, I don't want to go. Man is to carry himself. We are to carry ourselves in the presence of all oppositions, as if everything were, I love this word, titular and ephemeral, which means nominal, which is supposed, like it was suppose this and a short-lived that. I am to carry myself in opposition to everything as if it's supposed, as if it's temporary, but that everything except me is supposed or fleeting. And he goes on, I am ashamed to think how easily we capitulate to badges and names, to large societies and dead institutions. Every decent and well-spoken individual affects and sways me more than is right. I ought to go upright and vital and speak the rude truth in all ways. And he goes on. And he goes on. And he wasn't a very well-liked person for reasons just like this. He spoke what he believes. Let me see where that is about. Oh, I love this. Your goodness must have some edge to it, else it is none. Who I'm trying to where does he says oh, I lost the thought just that fast. Oh.
And while you're looking for that, and here's another contrast to think about. If a person that always say yes is really the most unappreciated person you'll ever find. Because when people know you're gonna say yes every time they ask something of you, they no longer even, they just take it for granted. It's like, because, oh, ask Zuma, she gonna say yes. Oh, something is going on. Yeah, ask Zuma. Oh yeah, something here is going on. Yeah, ask Zuma. She'll do it. When you become that person um,
Mhm.
it's like there's no contrast. You know, there's your yes doesn't even have impact. Well, they knew you would say yes anyway. That's why they asked you. You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
it's like it doesn't even uh have the gift that you even are attempting to give because you just become that yes person. That second line that was that in that paragraph where he was talking about goodness. Uh, what is goodness really? Reminded me of when Jesus was very young and he was teaching in the synagogue, and they came to him saying, "Oh, your brother and your mother is out there," you know, and he was supposed to stop and go see what his mother and brother wanted. And he said to them, to the person that was bringing him the message, he said, "Who is my mother? Who is my brother?"
That's right. Mhm.
So here you're saying, uh, what is truly goodness? In that moment, he was teaching, he was doing his father's will. He said, "Who is my mother? Who is my brother?" Those that do and follow the teaching that I'm teaching. That's who my brother and my real mother is. Now, he came down later when he was about to be uh, crucified, and one of his last requests was to the people that he was leaving behind in that moment was, see after my mother, you know. But it's in that moment, in this moment, what is the holy yes or the holy no? In this moment, what is good? What is, that's not something that you can just put in a box. Like I always say about love, we try to put love in a box. This is the loving act, this isn't. This is the loving thing to do, this isn't. This is the loving thing to say, this isn't. This is the loving emotion, that isn't. And of course, uh, the Bible teaches there's a time and season for all emotions, all of them. There's no good and bad emotions. So there's no such thing really other than the ego thought system that we've entwined ourselves in that we think is holy or being spiritual, that's actually judging these various emotions. We're supposed to notice the emotions, understand the emotions, let the emotions guide us and teach us. But as far as judging one as good and bad, or should and shouldn't, then we're just caught in a web of confusion. Lovable.
He's not feeling so good. He's got hiccups and stuff, and something's happening. He vomited 3 times yesterday. He overate, little greedy little thing. He overate and was being given stuff, and I have to admit I was part of that.
I
And the
was
next
gonna
thing I
say, oh, it's his fault. He went
no, he
into the
listen, he
cabinet
did
and got
he
the food
no,
out
he
and
did
gave
what
it to
dogs do.
his.
He did. I told you he thinks everything's the Last Supper, and there was enough for going around to be able to. And he ate somebody. He ate cat food. They feed the little dog cat. It's a combination of cat food and dog food, and he ate some of
Really?
that. I don't know what was in it, but anyway.
Mm.
Um. Okay. Feel better. I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention, my boy. Paying attention. All right. We'll see. But if you need to throw up, I have a container right here for you. Like he's gonna just come over to the container. Um.
Right.
Oh. Um. So. Emerson says wrote, "What I must do is all that concerns me, not what the people think. This rule equally arduous in actual and in intellectual life, must serve for the whole distinction between greatness and meanness. It is the harder because you will always find those. Here we go. This is what you just said. You will always find those who think they know what is your duty better than you know it. I'm going to analyze. Here, let me tell you what you should do. Let me. I know what's good for you. Let me tell you what you should do. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that because people aren't going to like you if you do that. If you say that, no, 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 Regis, you ought to come on and go dancing with us. You really should, because I'm going to feel some kind of way if you don't. I can just hear. I can just hear your thoughts on that. I can just hear you, Regis. I can just hear you, baby brother. I know. Ah, I get it. Excuse me. It is the harder because you always find those who think they know what is your duty better than you know it. It is easy in the world to live after the world's opinion. Ooh, here we go. It is easy in the world to live after the world's opinion. It is easy in solitude to live after our own. What does it say? Stand for truth? And your truth will stand for you. But no, I'm going to stand for truth when I'm home. Or I'm going to sit here and I'm going to study my Course in Miracles, and I'm going to, say holy things when I'm online with my peeps, because this is my tribe, and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out here and forget all that, which is brings me to one of the quotes I have from Ernest Holmes. Um, uh, the short part of that is, to desert the truth in the hour of need is to prove that you really don't know the truth. To desert the truth in the hour of need is to prove you really don't know the truth. And the other quote from the Course is, you will need your learning most in times when things are not kumbaya. We'll come back to that. He says, it is easy in solitude. The great man, the great person, is one who is in the midst of the crowd, keeping with perfect sweetness the independence of solitude. I don't have to do what you say do. I don't have to like what you like. I don't have to agree with what you are doing. I don't have to agree with it. I can accept it, but I don't have to agree with it. And what was the quote that Karen brought from the Course? I won't uphold it. I will not uphold it. I mean, I will uphold what you say. What is it? I will not uphold it unless it's true. I can't support it if it's not something I believe in. Simple as that. I don't feel like going dancing. Just don't want to. And I know I'm not tired. No, my feet don't hurt. I just don't want to. I'd rather veg out in front of the television. I'd rather sit on the computer. I'd rather go read a book. No, it doesn't mean I don't want to be around you. It's just that right now I prefer to be with myself. Now, if you want to do it that way, you have to make that comparison. I had a sister, she not a blood sister, but a woman. Um, every year for my birthday, which by the way is the day before Regis's, always has been the day before Regis's. Before Regis was having birthdays, it was the day before Regis. Anyway, um, uh, but every year on my birthday, I generally take myself to breakfast. I find some place, and it could be IHOP, or the place nearby that sells a delicious salmon and grits, or whatever. However, big breakfast. I take myself to breakfast. I enjoy taking myself to breakfast on my birthday. It's quiet time. I have a eating meditation. I sit there and I focus solely on what's in front of me, in the present, enjoying whatever's there in front of me. That moment, just because I know the rest of the day, I always I put a request cake for my birthday. I don't care who provides it. I don't care if it's a cupcake. It doesn't have to be, it could be store bought, it could be homemade. I don't care. But I appreciate and am accustomed to, since I was a child, having cake on my birthday. I didn't always have a party because I don't even remember having parties when I'm sure I did, but I don't remember a lot of that, having birthday parties and stuff. But always cake on my birthday. I see you, Karen. Yay. Cake on my birthday. And because at now the only the person that lives with me is Lovable, and he doesn't bake. Um, he'll eat the baked goods, so he doesn't bake. I anyway, so I just ask around, just a general question. Who would like to provide cake for me for my birthday? Is there someone who would like to provide cake for me for my birthday? And I try not to, and I always say it's the only time of the year that I actually beg, if you want to call it that. I want cake for my birthday, and and I said that to say, and someone fortunately comes through. One year I had 3 cakes, and I've never forgotten that. It meant that much. This one young lady who I knew her mother, but I didn't really know her that well, and she said, "Oh, I'll bake you a cake. You will." She said, "Yeah," and this was like 2 days before my birthday, and I said, "Really?" She said, "Yes," and then I already had a couple other people, and I let that happen because it's very possible that someone may not come through. And it's just one of those things that has a lot of meaning to me. And always makes me smile. And I could sit down and tell you different people that have provided, by name to this day, people that have provided cake for me. During the pandemic, we had a delicious carrot cake. Oh my God. Woman named Hazel, who was here last week, as a matter. She was here last Thursday or last Monday. She was here last week. She bakes a phenomenal carrot cake. And during the pandemic, we had a little outdoor thing with some friends. My friend Nia, who made her transition back in December. Um, I can these moments, these memories. I have them. They're here for me. And have delicious cake. And I remember one gentleman saying that it was the best cake he had ever had. It was the best. It was the best carrot cake he had ever tasted. And we remember when he made his transition, the one thing that we remembered about this man was that day, my birthday, that we sat around outside during the pandemic in Nia's yard, having carrot cake. It just these things, these in in chapter 5, section 4, paragraph 8, it says, "How can you who are so holy suffer? All of your past except his beauty is what remains." That might be a very slight paraphrase, but it's darn close. I know it's close. All of your beauty. I'm gonna have to find that right now. Chapter 5. You know what I love about us being here? That we can float around from this place to that, and we keep coming back to the same place. I love it. I love it. I love it. In the section called Teaching and Healing in chapter 5, section 4, it's paragraph 8. It says, "All your past except its beauty is gone, and nothing is left but a blessing. I have saved all your kindnesses and every loving thought you ever had." And for some reason, I'm getting misty-eyed on this one. I'm getting misty-eyed because it's just that. I'm so grateful for the kindnesses that have been shown to me. And I laughed today, when Regis, for the first time I heard Regis say everybody loves Regis, I thought that's pretty arrogant. And then um almost immediately after, I laughed. I said, that's pretty judgmental of you. And I thought, hey, that's a great attitude. That it just, I just kept turning it over and seeing it differently until I saw it so that I love Regis. And I've taken it on. I said, everyone loves Zulma. And people, was it week before last, we were in here and there was so much love going around, and for Sharon and for Regis and for me, and it was coming up in the chat. And oh my goodness, that paragraph, by the way, is the one that corresponds to to when my mother made her transition 548. Um, but yeah, so all these wonderful things that these wonderful things that occur in our lives, and I don't know what the point was I was making about the cake. Oh, I have no idea about asking for. Oh. I was saying that usually that morning I take my on the morning of my birthday I take myself to breakfast, and this one young lady, got upset with me. Well, why didn't you ask me to go with you? Excuse me? Because I wanted to take myself to breakfast. I wanted to be alone. Yeah, but you could have, coulda, shoulda, woulda. You could have asked me to go with you, and I would have gladly done that. And I said, and I appreciate that, the sentiment, but I really wanted to be by myself. It's what I it was something that I don't even know when I started doing it, but I enjoy doing it. I enjoy taking myself to. Oh, I know exactly when it started. Now I think about it, I know when it started. But anyway, um, I remember. Anyway, but it's something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy taking myself to breakfast, and I don't always eat breakfast. But on my birthday, I make it a point to take myself to breakfast. I don't know if I'm gonna be here that day either because it's a Thursday. Um, my birthday falls on a Thursday this year. Um, unless I go to breakfast early. Oh wait, I have to be here 9:30 on Thursday mornings. I don't know. I can't promise I'll be here on my birthday. I don't that's work. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, and I mean she was highly upset that I didn't say, oh, well, next time I'll keep that. I didn't. Now, the following year, she and her husband and another friend took me to breakfast. I, I think, you know what? She only let me get her out of my hair because next year I'm taking myself to breakfast again. But the following year she made it a point. But that was what she wanted to do for me, and okay, I appreciate that. I knew that the rest of the day was going to be an active day, regardless of what it was. People, the text messages and the phone calls. I prefer phone calls. I like to hear people's rendition of the birthday song my mommy used to sing to me. I love hearing people's rendition. I don't care how bad they sing, how bad they think they sing. I love it. I absolutely love it that they take the time and think enough to do that. I have a nephew. I have a nephew who sent me a voice message. He said, I'm not singing. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. He says, but I just, I wanted to acknowledge your birthday. It means a lot. It just means a lot. Um, there was a time when I, in my victimhood, perceived myself as a lonely, only child. Um, lonely, only, and I was groping for someone, anyone, to spend time with me because I was by myself and lonely and all that stuff. And interestingly enough, I've always enjoyed my own company. I've been a reader. I've loved to read since I started studying astrology when I was 14. So I was known to, be alone by myself somewhere. So it's funny that I would even think that I thought that way. Um, when I wasn't doing what I wanted to do, then I was lonely. Then I was lonely. But over time, I've come to I still enjoy my own company. I can sit here with a book. Oh, and lovable now. Oh, I'm sorry, baby boy. I woke him up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He jumped like, oh, I'm sorry, okay? Yeah, he's not feeling his best. He's not. Your nose, his nose. Okay, okay. A little warm. Anyway, um, I enjoy my own company. I have no problem. I could sit here all day long, um, with a book, with a computer, rest, watch very little television or movie or something. But I can do that, no problem. And some people can understand that. It's like Reggie saying, I don't feel like going out dancing. I don't have to hang out with people all the time. I enjoy people's company and I appreciate that people enjoy mine. I appreciate that people want my company. I do. But there are times when, nuh-uh, don't feel like it. Yesterday, a rare thing, drove all the way out to Delaware. Had to keep the air conditioner on because the air quality was funny yesterday. Yesterday morning, I couldn't anything. Um, but got in the car and kept the air conditioner on. Knew that where I was going, they were going to be indoors. Okay, that worked. It worked out fine. But nevertheless, and I appreciate that people enjoy my company, but I don't always want to or have to say yes. I've said no to Delaware like 100 times, and this time, like, you know what? That barbecue sounds pretty darn good. I'm going. Whoso would be, what I must do is all that concerns me, not what the people think. It's easy to live in a world after the world's opinion. It is easy in solitude to live after our own. But the great one is the one who, in the midst of the crowd, keeps with perfect sweetness the independence of solitude. I don't have to concern myself with what you think about me. And it was Raymond Charles Barker, we found that quote, who said that is not my business. It's not my business. You can no more analyze my motives than I can analyze yours. Or I can try, but it's not going to be to my benefit. The ego is constantly analyzing because in the Holy Spirit simply accepts. Accept what you can't change. Accept. Man, the way that person does that thing, the way that person says what they say, the way that person wears their clothes, the way that person cusses like a judge. I don't like it, but I accept it. I mean, I don't have to do it. I don't have to, wear my pants way down here, and I don't have to cuss like a judge, quote, quote, and I don't have to, whatever. Who am I to determine how you're supposed to do you? Like my way is right. Yeah, Karen, come on.
Yeah, Zulma, thanks. What's coming to me right now is the book from Don Miguel Ruiz and the Four Agreements. He said, "Don't make assumptions." That's the fourth agreement. I'm sorry, it's a third agreement. Don't make assumptions. We make assumptions about what others are doing or thinking. We take it personally, then we blame them and react by by sending emotional poison with our word. That's not really the one I wanted to read. What I wanted to read was where he says, it is always better to ask questions than to make an assumption because assumptions set us up for suffering. And this is the truth. I cannot, I have a real problem when someone accuses me of something or assumes something about me that is not true and they swear it's true. And I've had this issue recently with someone, and this is a big issue. And I said, no, that's not the truth. That is not true at all, and this is this person's perception and projection, and I don't like it. So, ask me questions. If you're curious about something or think something about me, ask me questions. Don't accuse me of something that you have no idea what you're talking about. That aggravates me. So, yeah, I just had to share that. Thank you.
Aha. What's funny about that, I'm coming at it with this, Karen. What's funny about that is that there's always going to be someone who's going to think what they think. They're going to think what they want to think. They're going to believe what they want to believe. And it's up to me to decide that I'm not going to get bent out of shape because you assume this about me or you accuse me. And I haven't said, are you accusing me? I've said that because I can make that true for you if you want. Is that what you're saying? But I don't, but, and I used to do it to my mother.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing, real quick. I just want to say this person used to aggravate me. And this person, it's another thing I had to go within with. And this is beautiful forgiveness opportunities. This is a beautiful, and it was a beautiful. So now what's happening is that I don't allow it to bother me. I stand my truth. What you said earlier, I stand my truth. And they can think whatever they want about me. It doesn't matter. And it's actually me standing my truth. Actually, I see a difference in them now as well, because I'm not, it's just not the truth. So I don't get bent out. I used to get bent out of shape about it. I don't anymore. So yes, I can be at peace with that. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, indeed. We let ourselves get bent out, or do or used to get bent out of shape. Um, from the four agreements, he says, we have the tendency to make assumptions about everything. The problem with making assumptions that we believe they're the truth. I'm going to put that on the screen. Let's see if I can do this. How do I do this? How do I do this? Stop share. I'm going to, no, I don't have to stop share. He told me I don't have to stop share. Apparently I do. No, I don't. Can you see that? You see, don't make assumptions on the screen?
Yes.
Huh? Ooh, I'm so glad you taught me this. Between you, Lynn, and you, Regis, I'm just the happiest. I'm happy as a clam. Happy as a clam. Ooh, Lynn, go ahead. Your hand is clam. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So thank you. This is a great conversation, and I almost forgot what I was going to say because I got so excited about that. But the fact is, if I think you're thinking something about me, I'm assuming something about you. And so, what am I assuming about you? I'm going to assume about what you're thinking, the worst thing I could think about myself. I'm going to think, you think I'm uneducated. You think I'm ignorant as to what A Course in Miracles says. You think I believe something, or so I'm making an assumption about you that's really an assumption about me. And I don't know if that makes any sense, but for me, every single time, I just have to stop myself and say, I'm just imagining they're thinking this.
Yep.
I'm not in their mind. I have no idea what they're really thinking. And for me to sit here and imagine that they're thinking bad things about me just makes me the bad person because I'm thinking they're bad. When they could be over there thinking, man, I love that Lynn. She is the smartest person I ever saw. She is the greatest friend I ever had. They might be thinking something like that, and I'm completely misreading them because of, assumption I have on my part. And believe me, I have made that mistake with many people where I thought they were hating on me, and then come to find out later that it was me hating on them, and it was all my own fault. So anyway, thank you, thank you, thank you for this conversation.
That is perfect, total sense. And that me and Tracy have discovered, Lynn, is probably 85% of her job stress is she gets in these moments where they're thinking she's incompetent or not pulling her weight. And then she gets mad at them. And I'm like, but they hadn't done anything. All of this is just you're rejecting yourself and then blaming them for rejecting you. It's like, it's crazy. And it's
That's
like,
perfect.
we just sit here and try to unravel it, unravel it, unravel it. And it's like, and they'll tell her, we're so happy you're on our team and you're doing so great. But she'll get into these thought patterns of and she creates these imaginary scenarios where she's getting written up. They're gonna. I'm like, nobody's writing you up. Nobody's even holding you accountable for your work, really. It's, so yeah, it's a very tangled web.
Thank you,
Keep
thank
talking.
you, Regis. I'll turn back to you, Zulma.
I'm loving this. I am loving this. I pulled this from right out of we're just reading from Don't Make Assumptions.
Yeah.
I like the copy paste feature, guys. Who's learning? I'm doing it in bold print. I'm making it. It came up as centered. I don't want it centered. Never less than 28 pitch if you're putting it on on slides. This is what I was taught. It works.
And while
And
you're pasting, you
huh?
know, I said, while you're copying and pasting, Louise Hay, I think once said, no, it may have been Esther Hicks or Louise Hay, I don't know which one, but they made a statement, I'm no longer interested in things that upset me.
Mm.
And
Oh, I like that.
when you think about it, what's better to think everybody loves Regis or to be thinking everybody thinks I'm stupid, everybody
Mhm.
thinks I'm ugly, everybody thinks I'm not pulling my weight on my job, everybody thinks I don't deserve to be in this position because I'm not qualified. What's what uh God's will for me is happiness, you know, and I can choose to think happy thoughts. I can choose, even if none of it's true, which thought which thought makes me happy, which thought keeps me in that space of happiness and overflow of love so that I can truly show up and be loved. You
Mhm.
know, uh,
Mhm.
just like beginning to see that I am in control of it all, you know. And if I was going to be in error, I might as well be in error on the side of being happy versus making myself miserable, with my own stinking thinking.
Right.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. Because we were created to create. We are so creative. We are so creative. We make up these stories. We have all these wonderful stories. And I like if I'm gonna have if I'm gonna have a story, as Regis just said, I'm gonna have a happy dream. Let's, everything is all is I am all that. In this world, I am all that. I'm the star of this story. I am the star of this story. Me thinking that that I'm the star of your story, that's the problem. Because I think that you think blah, blah, blah. I think that you think blah, blah, blah. Regis, question. I can put Zoom on two screens too. Can I do that? Is that what you're doing? You got Zoom on two screens? How do you have you twice? Yeah,
um,
teach me, brother. You just muted yourself. I really did ask a question.
okay, yeah, you could just open Zoom on another device on your
Oh,
phone or something,
oh, I see.
or
Okay, okay. Got
iPad
it.
or whatever. Yeah.
I've done that. I know how to do that. Okay. All right. But yeah, so yeah, and this is the conversation I have with my young one. She oh, I embarrassed myself. How'd you do that? This was recent. Well, I was asked a question and I didn't say what I really wanted to say. Well, yes, you did, but did you tell them that that's not what you wanted to say? Well, no. Then what was there to be embarrassed about? This sort of thing. We have to talk to ourselves. We have to talk to ourselves to listen to what it is that we are thinking. This is a course in mind training. We have to listen to ourselves, pay attention. Oh, go ahead, easy. Uh, um, we have to pay attention to what we're thinking. We have to guard our thoughts. We have to not be so willing to let our mind wander. We have to just step out of the sleep of forgetfulness because that's an unwillingness to remember. I have to, I have to decide, hmm, that since my will and God's will are one, that my will should be perfect happiness. Lesson 101. God's will for me is perfect happiness. Lesson 101. All the sadness and drama that you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. Take a moment to consider the truth of this statement. The whole war of control, my God, the whole war of control between humans is about making assumptions and taking things personally. Our whole dream of hell is based on that. And that's what I say. People, the one thing that people are most afraid of is what other people think. The one thing, the main thing that people are afraid of is what other people think. And it could be a thought that you've been taught. If you've been taught that there's a boogeyman in there, you're afraid of the boogeyman. If you're taught that if you go into that place, that the boogeyman is going to be there, you're afraid of that. If somebody says, you shouldn't go, and you decide you want to go anyway, and now you're upset because you think that they're going to be upset with what you do. You are denying yourself the joy of living. I'm on screen share. Okay, let me go back to this quote from before. Be active rather than reactive. Live by choice, not self-protection. Why is this not coming? Oh, I don't know what's happening. It's not going into slideshow present mode. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm not even gonna. Nope, not doing that. But I can shut that down. All right. And it's still not going to do it. Slideshow from current slide. It's not doing it. I don't know why. Not to worry. Live by choice. Live by your own choice, not by. I can't live by what Karen or Regis or Lynn or Michaela or whomever decides that I should do. I mean, I may call you and ask you for some advice. I may ask you for a suggestion, and but it doesn't mean I have to take it. Ultimately, the decision to do it or not do it is still my own. Live by choice, not self-protection. Be active rather than reactive. Make a stand for your truth, not somebody else's truth. Your truth, it might work for me, though. I may be able to incorporate it. And then don't you get upset when I start quoting you, because what you said, worked for me. The form might be different, but the content is the same. The form might be different. It's called Regis, it's called Karen, it's called Lynn, it's called Zulma. The content, the form might be different. The content is the same. Don't get upset with me because now I've accepted what you say and I use it on a regular. The course teaches that we don't lose the idea. We can share an idea and then it multiplies. It multiplies. Was in the movie? It doesn't die. It multiplies. It won't die. It'll multiply. The Gremlins. They don't die. They multiply. It was the movie Gremlins. It's a wonderful thing. It went from everybody loves Regis to everyone loves Zulma. Okay, and Regis is over there, and Regis is part of the world, and Zulma's over here, and Zulma's part of the world. We sometimes our worlds are in the same place, and what are we doing? Just spreading the love. Spreading the love. And you got me thinking about that easy thing, Regis, because I used to think that easy and lazy were synonymous. I used to think that. But yet, the very first time I heard you say that you believe in easy, it resonated with me. So do I. But then I had to think about that because I had to judge it. I had to analyze. I had to break it down. I had to do all that because to me, easy and lazy were synonymous. And they don't have to be. They aren't. Lazy and easy are not synonymous. The easy way out is not the lazy way. The easy way, actually, the easy way in. It's not really being lazy, being out. Sweetie, are you all right? Something's going on with you. I want to call you a vet. I am. I want to call you a doctor. I am. She's not there today. But yeah. So, but things like that. We are here for each other, but we're not. I'm not here for you. I'm here and you're here. And our worlds may blend. Our worlds may come together and then we decide mutually to interdepend, not codepend. Come here, my hunger for you. No, 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 no. To interdepend. What's the song? I like what you like what I like, and we're made for each other. Um, uh, but it's not my job. I don't have to like it. I don't care. We can go all the way up to you like steak and I like steak, and you like seafood and I like seafood, and you like liver and I don't. And that's supposed, what do you mean you don't like liver? But you like steak with me, and you like, I don't have to. No. Live by choice, and it's not self-protection. Be active rather than reactive. Make a stand for your truth. Because back to the first one, there is no such thing as true love without first embracing your true self. Period. Period. Love your neighbor as yourself. That means you have to love yourself first. The kingdom of heaven is within. The love is within, right here, right now. I am what God is, and so are you. But I can't speak for you. That's for I can't pray for you. I really can't. That's control. I can't pray for you. I mean, I was taught that in elementary school. I could pray for the babies in limbo, and I could pray for the souls in purgatory. I could pray the babies out of limbo as long as I gave nickels and dimes, to school. That was God. That's how you really prayed them out of limbo. Your prayer came with payment. Um, I see you times two, my brother. Uh, um, or that I can pray the souls out of purgatory. I can pray people into heaven. Out of here. I couldn't do that for you when you were alive. I don't know what I'm doing for you now that you've made your transition. But this is what we're taught. We're taught this whole control thing. We're taught this whole control thing. And in the Four Tops, the song Bernadette, he says, how can they control you when they can't even control themselves? How is that even possible? I'm gonna go past this. I'm gonna go past this. I've been in this same spot for quite a while now. I do kind of want to go back to the four agreements, but no, I'm not going to do it. I am going to choose. We finished with that slide, right? With the four agreements. That's what you're seeing on the screen. Okay. The course from review one, my favorite. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Say it all the time. It will be necessary that you learn to require no special settings in which to apply what you have learned. That's what Emerson was saying. Not just, being my best self when I'm in solitude and everything is kumbaya, but out there in the midst of it all. The course reminds you will need your learning most in situations that appear to be upsetting rather than those that already seem to be calm and quiet. No, I don't want to go out dancing. And I realize that saying that is not going to make you feel comfortable, but it's not about your comfort because you asked me, and it's about my comfort. Comfortably, I don't want to go out dancing. That's just the best example, Regis. I'm gonna have to find a pair of dancing shoes and put that on a slide. I will, it's fun. The purpose of your learning, the purpose of this mind training, the purpose of this meditating, the purpose of this praying, the purpose of this getting in touch with who I am, recognizing where the kingdom is, with the proverb, the Egyptian proverb says, because whoever will know thyself, what is it? Whoever shall know himself shall find it. The kingdom of heaven. When I know myself, I will find it. The purpose of your learning is to enable you to bring the quiet with you and to heal distress and turmoil. This is not done by avoiding them and seeking a haven of isolation for yourself. I can't avoid that thing that I think I'm afraid of, because it's really my thoughts anyway. I cannot avoid it. I can't hide from it and heal it too. You can't hide and heal. You have to feel to heal. You have to allow yourself to go into it. Go on in. Yea, though I walk through the valley, I don't pitch a tent there. I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. And I actually, until I really, until I heard someone misquote it, I didn't realize what it really said, because they were saying that I walked through the valley of death. And I'm like, wait. It's a shadow of death. It's not real. The course teaches in chapter 13, section 4, in the function of time. The shadowy figures are precisely what we must escape. They are not real. Precisely what we must escape. They are not real. Can I pull that up? Let's see if I can pull that up without yeah, I think I can. Let's see. Shadowy figures past. All right. And we get an advertisement, and we let that go. And then they put me back to the old screen, and we do this. One result. And how come I don't see it? It should be back here some. It's back here somewhere around paragraphs. Oh, wait. It didn't take me there. I didn't go there. Here it is. Here we go. Here it is. Paragraph 6 of chapter 13, section 4. The shadowy figures from the past are precisely what you must escape. They are not real. And have no hold over you unless, I want to go this far. The shadowy figures from the past are precisely what you must escape. They are not real and hold nothing. They hold nothing. Let's duplicate this slide really quickly. Let's do this. And then get rid of this, go in here, and put that in there. All right. The shadowy figures from the past are precisely what you must escape. They are not real and have no hold over you unless you bring them with you. I'm bringing nothingness with me, mind you. A shadowy figure from the past. Yea, through I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. It's a shadow. It's not real. And that's why we can fear no evil, because it's not real. The shadowy figures, they are not real and have no hold over you unless you bring them with you. These are the shadowy figures, these not real shadowy figures, carry the spots of pain in your mind, directing you to attack in the present in retaliation for a past that is no more. Thomas Troward says the principle is not bound by precedents. And this decision is one of future pain. Now, in other words, as long as I keep trying to drag this heavy behind bag with me, it's going to be heavy. And if I bring it from back then into now, it's still heavy. And I'm trying to take it into the future, it's still heavy. Unless you learn that past pain is an illusion, that there's nothing in the bag, no baggage. There is no baggage. Unless you learn that past pain is an illusion, you are choosing a future of illusions and losing the many opportunities you could find for release in the present. I can't appreciate now if I'm too busy trying to bring what happened a month ago, a year ago. I could keep showing you on the screen the picture of Lovable of the June 13th of last year, the day I found him, when he was just 10.1 pounds, and still look at him and say, oh, the poor thing. No, Regis said, rags to riches. We're in the richest story now. It's not. If I look back, it's only to show where where he's come to, what it was versus what it used to be, and how we're living by choice, not by chance, living actively and not just letting things happen. Oh yeah, I could have brought him home and never fed him, and and claim that I rescued this dog. Oh my goodness, or that he rescued me. That's what it was. Unless you learn that past pain is an illusion, you are choosing a future of illusions and losing the many opportunities you could find for release in the present. The ego would preserve your nightmares and prevent you from awakening and understanding they are past. This was this paragraph and the two right before it were my saving grace. This is what saved me. This is where the course opened up to me. Chapter 13, section 4, the function of time, starting in paragraph 4. This is where it started opening up to me. Something in the chat. Let me see what that is. Yep, that's what it said. You can't hide and heal. Sure can't. I guess I better put it on the slide, huh? After I said it, it caught my ear too. But I'm gonna put that on the slide. It'll go on one of these slides. It'll go right here. I'm going to copy this and then go in here. That's not what I meant to do. Oh, that wasn't what's supposed to happen. What's supposed to happen was that when I copied this from over here, watch this, watch. And then come in here. I should be able to copy. There you go. You can't hide and heal. And I'll put my name to that one. 'Cause that's the way it came to me. You absolutely can't. Oh, 1Z. You can't. I'll fix it later. But anyway, yeah, so you can't escape. Back to finishing this. The purpose of your healing, the purpose of your learning is to enable you to bring the quiet with you and to heal distress and turmoil. This is not done by avoiding them and seeking a haven of isolation for yourself. You can't hide it to heal it. You will yet learn that peace is part of you. Peace is part of you. And requires only that you be there to embrace any situation in which you are. The person who's making those assumptions, the person who's, getting on your nerves, who's saying that thing you don't like, the person who's doing that thing that you think that you want to think they shouldn't be doing, the person who you don't mean to judge that's judging you, the person that you're judging about judging you. Any situation, you will yet learn that peace is part of you and requires that you be there to embrace any situation in which you are. And finally, with this mind training, with learning to resign as your own teacher, with staying out of the sleep of forgetfulness, with getting into the habit of engaging with God, by practicing. Finally, you will learn that there is no limit to where you are, so that your peace is everywhere. As you are, wherever I go, there I am. In the Bible, it doesn't say find your peace. It says hold your peace. Hold your peace. That means the peace is already there. Peace be with you is not a request. It's a declarative statement. It's a statement of declaration. Peace be with you. Peace is with you. Peace is you. Go ahead, Karen.
My Zuma is on today, boy. She is doing awesome today. I love this today. You're doing so great. I love this. And you're so good at this presentation. I just love the way you present. I said that when we did the miracle principles. I just love the way you present. Yeah, this is one of my favorite parts in the course. And, it reminds me of so many things. And, I could see peace instead of this. And true denial, true denial is why the Bible speaks of the peace of God, which passeth understanding. This peace is totally incapable of being shaken by errors of any kind. Now, this is what I'm practicing, and this is what I've been practicing with this person. And what used to bother me and really trigger me does not trigger me anymore. I've changed the way I react. I see this person. Actually, I see the call for love. I really see the call for love. I see that, and I've been at peace with this. I've been really at peace with this. And this, I take the quiet into every situation when I possibly can. And if I can't, then I ask to help me see this differently. But this is great. This is the way, this is the goal for me. This is the goal of the course for me, to bring the peace with me everywhere I go. Because this is the happy dream. This is really the happy dream. And I just love it. I just love it, love it, love it. Thank you, Zulma.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see. If I duplicate this slide and then go in and do that, there's that quote. Thank you, Karen. You all are helping me put this thing together today. You're talking about me presenting. I could, I'm so thankful that you all are here, because this wouldn't be all of this without you. I would have been finished at 11 o'clock. I'd have been, working on getting to 11 o'clock. Um, um, but yeah, the peace that God, that which passes understanding, is the peace that's totally incapable of being shaken by error of any kind. Can't be. It denies the ability of anything not of God to affect you. In other words, the boogeyman can't affect you. Cujo can't affect you. What's not true, only truth is true. And truth is total. Anything that's not true can't affect you. And we think, and that's the problem. We think. I'm never upset for the reason I think, because I'm too busy thinking. That's the problem. Well, anyway, it denies the ability of anything not of God to affect you. And this is the proper use of denial. It is not used to hide anything, but to correct the error, to look at it for what it would, to see it for what it really is, to let all things be exactly as they are. It brings all error into the light. And since error and darkness are the same, it corrects error automatically. It's gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. It's gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. And thank you for that, Karen. Thank you for that. What's this? I just read that. Okay. And that, yeah, okay, that's there. Okay. Nope, don't want that. Don't want that at all. I'm going back up to my last quote, which is actually a quote from Ernest Holmes, that's with this. He says, Dr. Ernest says, stay with the one. That's one with a capital O. And never, 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 never deviate from it. Never deviate from it. Stay with your truth. Make a stand for truth. Never leave it. And this is it with a capital I. We're talking about the I of it all, the allness of it all. Stay with the one. That's the all of it all. That's God. That's Lord. That's truth. That's life. That's energy. That's spirit. Stay with it. Stay with it. The habit of engaging with God is easy. If you actively refuse to let your mind slip away. Actively refuse to let your mind slip away. The sleep of forgetfulness is only the unwillingness to remember. Stay with the one and never deviate from it. Never. Never leave it for a moment. Nothing else can equal this attitude. And here it is, one of my favorite quotes. It's on page 282 of the Science of Mind textbook. By the way, Regis, the definitive edition is different from that one that that has both the 1926 and 1938 in it. The definitive edition. This is what I'm reading from. The one I'm reading from is only the 1938 edition. I don't know if you have that or not. We'll talk about that. Anyway, to desert the truth in the hour of need is to prove that we do not know the truth. We can talk the talk all we want, Yeah, I can talk the talk all I want. The definitive edition, not as thick as that other book. The other book has as the 1926, because he did a rewrite, major rewrite. Some of what's in the 26 is in the 38, most of what's in the 26 is in the 38, but it's in a different place. Sort of like with well, no, I don't want to compare it to the course. First edition versus second edition, where the pages now match and all that kind of stuff. It's yeah, second edition versus first edition. But then some. To desert the truth in the hour of need is to prove that we do not know the truth. What did that quote say? You will need your learning most in situations that appear to be upsetting. The purpose of your learning is to enable you to bring the quiet with you. Stay with the one. To desert the truth in the hour of need is to prove that we do not know the truth. When things look the worst, that is the supreme moment to demonstrate to ourselves that there are no obstructions to the operation of capital T truth. When things look the worst is the best time to work, the most satisfying time. What did Emerson say? Not just when you're in the quiet by yourself, but when you're out in the midst of it all. That's the time to express the truth, to be in the truth, to live by the truth, to stand for the truth. When things look the worst is the best time to work, the most satisfying time. The person who can throw himself with a complete abandon into the limitless sea of receptivity, having cut loose from all apparent moorings, nothing holding me back, because truth is not bound by a principle, is not bound by precedence. Principle is not bound by precedent. The past is gone. Shadowy figures from the past is what we must escape. From having cut loose from all apparent moorings is the one who will always receive the greatest. There's the word reward, should be the greatest reward. The greatest reward is the last word there. Stay with the one. Stay with the one. Guard your thoughts. Don't let your mind wander. Don't be tolerant of mind wandering. Don't be tolerant of mind wandering. Don't get into and stay into the sleep of forgetfulness. Be willing to engage with God. Stay with the one. Engage with God. Engage with God. Stay with the one. This has been great. Thank you. Thank you, Regis. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Lynn. Karen's got her hand up. Go ahead.
I have one more quote for you, and I'm going to text it to you. I have it in a really nice text for you. It's by Veronica Tugaleva. I don't know if you ever heard of her before. The most profound personal growth does not happen while reading a book or meditating on a mat. It happens in the throes of conflict when you are angry, afraid, frustrated. It happens when you are doing the same old thing and you suddenly realize that you have a choice. I'm going to text that to you.
Please do. Please do.
This was so great, Zulma. Thank you so much. This was so awesome. I loved it.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Regis.
Thank you, Regis, too. Regis, I love you, too.
Could
You
not
guys
have
are,
done it.
I love you two together.
Yes.
Thanks, you guys.
No,
Thanks, everybody.
We were all here together. We're all in this together.
Right.
This is the trinamic trio, and we can't possibly do it without Lynn. We need Lynn. Lynn, I'm going to ask you a question about that, by the way. I'm going to turn the mic over to you right now, though. Love you, family. Stay with the one. Never deviate from it. Stay with the one. Never deviate from it. Stay with the one. You can turn it off, Lynn. Stay with the one.
Thanks, you
Never
guys.
deviate.
I love you all. Gonna turn